All right, there we go. Hang on, I gotta find my start video button. 1, 2.
I had to hit the got it button.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I'm off. I'm on.
Yay.
Whatever. Look, I'm wearing the Jamunga sweater.
You are.
Well, we can talk about that in a second.
Are you cold?
No, it's because, oh, by the way, everybody out there, welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow, Side-by-Side show
The
today.
Adventures of Liz and Rebecca.
It's because this week I was planning on not wearing my latest made sweater, and I was going to start rotating through the sweaters in the shop again. Yeah, because I've been in like the same sweater for 2 weeks of filming because my new sweaters I do that with, right? Yeah, we have to explain a lot. So hi. Welcome. Oh, I heard an echo of myself on your thing. Anyway. Hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber in downtown Brevard, North Carolina, but we're not there right now.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion there.
Yeah, so we're doing a side-by-side show from our houses because we can't get to work. I kind of knew this was going to happen.
Black ice is nasty.
Well, it's not even black ice. I mean, I'm sure there's places with black ice. It's that we got more snow than we're used to dealing with, for starters, right?
Yeah.
And for this area, we got what? We don't think we got the full 20 inches.
Between 12 and 14.
Yeah, we got over a foot of snow, which for this area is just like, oh my gosh. And some people who live in snowy areas are probably right now going, so what? Right? But
well, like I've told you and I told my mom, dealing with snow in the mountains is completely different than anywhere else I've ever dealt with snow. When it's flat, it's not bad, but our roads here go down to the left and up to the right. Trees.
Yeah, and it's dealing with snow in these mountains, because again, I'm sure there's people in snowy areas who are somewhat used to dealing with it, or they have the cars for it because they're used to getting it, and they have the infrastructure that is used to handling it. And we don't to begin with, and then there are absences due to COVID, and yeah, it's like I have a partially plowed street. Like technically it's plowed, but it's not even the black ice. There's black ice on my driveway after what I did yesterday to clear myself out and melt and freeze. Yeah. Which is always a problem in the mountains. It's the compressed snow and ice from the plow going by and crunching it down, and then they can't further clear that because it's compacted to the ground on a hill. With my 14-year-old car with tires that are decent but not new anymore. Not even gonna try it. Like Conisty, where I live, Conisty, super hilly. They were saying they had to, what kept them from getting more streets cleared and plowed and just dealt with. At this point, I don't think they can clear them, because they also are really big on not putting a lot of stuff down on the roads, like chemicals and things, which means then, of course, the roads aren't really treated.
Or even salt, like.
Yeah, like not even, I really, like they have been known to salt, but I don't think they've done it this time.
Yeah.
They were held up yesterday. I got an email saying they had to do 50 either vehicle rescues or moving vehicles because they were in places that kept plowing from happening. So either people parked in weird spots or got stuck in weird spots or tried to go out, and then suddenly we're like, oh.
Yeah, and that leads to another compacting if you're driving over it, and before the plows get there, you're compacting it all down.
Yeah, and the wait for it to melt theory that is held by many people down here does not work when it's been compacted, the sun isn't hitting it, and the temperature is not warming up. Like it's 20, it was 20 degrees when I last checked. It's 25 now. Okay. It's actually
heat wave.
Heat wave, yes. For this area, that's pretty cold. So, okay. So anyway, long story, incredibly long. that is why we are at our houses, and we might be filming from our houses for a few more days. Who knows? You would think that we had a blizzard and we had 5 feet of snow outside, but it's close enough in terms of what this area can handle. So like most of the businesses downtown that we've seen people posting on Instagram or Facebook are closed. Most. Some, my insurance agent is opening up at 10 o'clock, or did, because it's after 10 o'clock, or she was opening, you know, later in the day, which good for her. But I'm not risking my customer safety and my safety and your safety by doing that. So I'm very sorry to those of you out there watching this who wanted to come shop with us today, but unless you have an all-terrain vehicle, I don't think you were getting into downtown anyway. So yeah. And anyone who is a tourist downtown right now, I'm sorry, we're not there. We just, it's crazy. So
we've been watching lots and lots of businesses downtown Brevard say, yep, we're not, just, you know, either they can't get in, or
oh no,
there's, you know, nobody else is open, you know.
Yeah, you froze on
we have a couple of, uh-oh, am I there?
You are now.
Okay.
For whoever was watching, you might get a little chunky. You're fine. This is what happens when we're stuck at home and there's bad weather. So, you know, people will deal. Anyway, I'm sorry, you were saying something.
Oh, some of the shop owners live downtown.
Yeah.
So there could be some that are open, but most everybody else is closed if they don't live downtown.
So the story behind what I'm wearing right now, this big chunky thing, is I brought this home. This is knit out of Sugarbush Chill, which is one of the bigger yarns we have in the shop. Like you can see the big stitched. It's kind of like one the sweaters you have, except you made a lot of yours out of the chainette. This is like heavier because it's that thickness, but it's not the chainette. This was a Vogue Knitting magazine. Like they actually made it out of Sugarbush Chill one year. Vogue Knitting had a pattern. I think it was even on the cover. I was like, oh my gosh, it's a yarn we carry in the shop. I'm gonna make it. And I did. Different colors. They had these like very pale neutrals and very pretty. And I did. And I've worn it like I'm probably gonna wear it longer today than I've ever worn it because it's super warm. So the reason it's at home, because I was like, I suddenly like, I was going to start wearing other sweaters and they're all at the shop except for my new one because yay, I brought it home. But I brought this one home and another cardigan home just in case I lost power this weekend, which we didn't. I'm so grateful for that. Like the winter wonderland and being stuck at home and having power, of all things that could happen to be stuck at home, that's a decent combination. But
we need to start talking about Friday.
Huh?
There's talk of sleet on Friday.
Sleet? Okay, hang on. I have to show off
your sweater. I love that sweater.
There's the bottom. Oh, that's my sweatpants. There's the bottom. Yeah, this is my super chunky. Actually, it fits quite nicely, doesn't it? I think it
does.
Here's what's the funny thing. I think it was kind of huge when I made it. No, it fits quite nice. But it's cozy. It's just all day. It's super hot, but I thought, wouldn't it be fun to wear this? I want to say, because my size of this took at least 3, if not 4 balls of every single color. So there's a lot of yarn in this sweater and then there was their fashion accent was like one little color part of another color. And so, you know, there's 4 colors in this. And a 5th one, if you count this, I think, and 1 ball, tons of leftover of this, 4 balls of all the others. It's kind of an expensive sweater to make, which is why it was in Vogue Knitting.
Like the super bulky ones I have made out of the Ushia and the Baby Butts and Unicorn Kisses. They have like Baby Butts and Unicorn Kisses has 87 yards per ball. And I crop them so it doesn't take as many. And the Ushia has 115 yards per ball, and the Chill only has
it's like 50 something.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't get you very far. It's lovely though. It's this single ply. It's fuzzy already, and it's only been hanging around the shop for a few years. But if I was to wear this, it would get all pilly and fuzzy like nobody's business. But, oh, okay. So turning to the weather, back to the weather for just a minute. You mentioned Friday.
Yep.
Yeah, this whole week is going to be crappy in terms of like the mountains and being able to go places. So, and I just got an email from my landlord that they still haven't cleared the lot that I park in, that all my customers hope to park in and can't because it's only for people who live and work in the buildings around us. They still haven't been able to clear that lot. So even if we had gone in today, I wouldn't have a place to park. People weren't like going, oh, this might be heavy snow that ices over and then we can't move it. And like the plow that someone hired to come in and broke, apparently, that someone hired to come in and take care of my lot. Probably because the snow is so heavy down here because of the, south humidity and what fell. And anyway, so today is a clear day, but it's not getting warm. Tomorrow, Wednesday, it might actually warm up. We might be able to make it in, right? Maybe.
Yeah.
When is the rain coming?
Thursday into Friday.
Thursday into Friday, we're going to have rain and cold temperatures, which means black ice. And then Friday, last time I looked at the forecast for Friday, it was 2 more inches of snow, and you're hearing a mix now.
I several of my weather guys on Twitter are like, something is going to happen, and it could be freezing rain, sleet, snow, a mix, and it's going to hit the south again. It could hit around us, like we could have we don't get anything, or it could, it's gonna be another one of those. Ooh.
Yeah, and I'm just like the business part of me is like, oh my God. Okay, I was trying to look at this tag. There's a tag on this to see what the name of the pattern is, and I can't undo it without looking at it. The business side of me is, oh crap, like we're not going to be open for so long. Although we are having a sale while we're shut down, and we can talk about that in a minute. The rest of me is like, I just want to hunker down and stay here. Although at some point I'm going to run out of food. I went out and shopped for food for like 3 or 4 days. I can stretch it. If I need to stretch it, I can stretch it. But at some point it's going to get dicey. I'm not going to eat my cat. I'm just putting that out there. I will make my way into town before I eat my cat. But okay, it's called the Striped Pullover. Vogue Knitting, winter of 1819. That was like, oh man, we were back in the old shop then.
We were back in the old shop.
Oh man. My college intern wrote on this: 1 skein in 1 color, 3 skeins in other 4 colors. So yeah, I think for this one I had to crack into at least a 3rd skein, if not a 4th. But it was done on 15s and 17s. It was super fast and super fun, but it's like, I'm not going to wear it many places because it's so big and heavy. But I mean, it's not like I'm sitting here going, oh my God, I can't, it's too heavy. But only in temperatures like this, when I'm in a room where the heater is only, the heat is trapped under or behind boxes. It's not like under the boxes. It's just not getting to me because it's back by the French doors. Would I be wearing a sweater like this, right? So, yeah, but I thought it'd be fun to wear today. Look at all my stripies, yay.
I like it.
It's actually quite comfortable. I'm just, it's not one I'm gonna wear every day. So, all right. So anyway, we're not going into the shop, but we're still going to talk to the masses out there about all the fun things we're doing. And I still have a full slate of things I need to do today because I spent so long shoveling like a path for my car just in case I want to leave. That took half the day yesterday. And I still can barely move my arms today because like my arms hurt just sitting here today.
Yeah.
So some of the things I was going to do yesterday, I'm now going to do today. Like still having power means we can talk to y'all. We can do sit and stitch tonight, which I still haven't put anything up on on social media about sit and stitch tonight, but it is going to happen. I'll do that right after we finish filming. I can film a tips and tricks today, but we can't pack up any orders that have been placed since we went home on Saturday. And we're going to continue. So the sale that we offered was the code Izzy Snow, IZZYSNOW, no spaces, will save you 20% off in the online shop until we get back. However, we're not going to be able to pack them up and deal with them until we get back. And that could be days. That could be tomorrow. We don't know. But even if we're back in tomorrow, that doesn't mean packages are all going out tomorrow. Oh my gosh. Like there's already starting to be a pile up, which we're grateful for. Thank you. But patience, everybody. So yes, the code Izzy Snow. If the code doesn't work, it should mean that we're back in the shop. If you try to buy something online and the code doesn't work, it should mean we're back in the shop and contact us and say, are you back? And we'll say, yes, the code's done. But until then, you can save money in the online shop. Look at your sweater. We need to talk about that sweater because, oh my gosh, that's a lot of knitting that you've done. And wait, are you going in the round or are you not?
Going in the round, I separated.
Because when I was seeing the back of it, I was seeing a big hole, but I think I'm just seeing the armhole. It almost looked like it was separated and you were doing like a cardigan. Okay. It's the backlighting. I told you the backlighting from the window cause issues, but you need that light in your room. So talk to us about this sweater.
So this is the Twilight sweater that I started last weekend. Not this weekend, this past weekend, but weekend before. It was written for 3 colors and I had 5 and
why not?
So,
you know.
Yeah, so I didn't work on it much this week. I worked on it a little bit. Well, no, I worked on it all the way till Friday. And then yesterday I was so close to separating for the sleeves that I just went ahead and separated for the sleeves. Let me find the back. So there is.
That's gorgeous. And the colors really pop on with your lighting there.
Yeah. It's
like
all kinds of.
Definitely tell all the different colors and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So I like it's gonna be all soft and warm.
Of course it is. That's awesome. And you're using ultra alpaca, right? I need to order more ultra alpaca.
This one was all ultra alpaca. It's the black. The body is the darkest gray that you just got.
It's like off black. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like off black. And then it's a medium gray and then a light gray and then the red.
And I don't even think we ever got the off black into the online shop. This is the only part that kind of sucks for like people who are hoping to save on things we're showing off right now in the online shop with this sale. Is not everything is there. And the sale is really just on what's there because I can't take photographs and put anything else up until we get back. So we're kind of stuck, but save on stuff now and save your money for future sales or for when you get back, you know, for when we're back and you're paying full price, but you save money on other stuff. So it works out. So
yeah. Friday last week, I started a new project.
Cause why not? And what is this new project and why did you suddenly feel compelled to start a new project?
I found this pattern. It's the Regal Thistle Sweater by.
It's got thistles.
Carolyn Holbrook. Yes, it's got thistles.
She really likes thistles.
So
just that moment of like not even noise, just okay. So yes.
So the downside to the sweater for me was that it's written for fingering weight on size 3s and 4s.
And is this it's the Twilight was the Twilight the sweater that their extra large was still like a skinny mini?
Yeah, the Twilight sweater was written for size 10s. And I there's some sizing issues on
there's
that one.
sizing issues. So this one didn't have sizing issues, but this one is teeny tiny yarn and teeny tiny needles. And
Teeny
that
tiny yarn and teeny tiny needles. And at some point on Thursday last week, I think I asked Rebecca, as she's got a migraine and is redoing cupboard, and you know, the world is.
But challenges help my migraine sometimes. Go ahead.
I asked Rebecca, I said, so if you do a fingering weight sweater out of chunky yarn or bulky yarn on size, I don't know, 10.5 needles, and you do the smallest size, will it come out? Like, I know there's magic math, I know there's all the other fun stuff, but
and my answer was a hot maybe.
Hot maybe.
Hot maybe, because there's really no way to predict if that's going to work.
Predict it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. So Friday.
So of course you are.
Just a heads up, there is no more of the black and purple left in the shop because it's switched off.
Both this yarn and the yarn she's using for that, I forget this flips, so you're over there. Are from Sugar Bush, and Sugar Bush no longer exists. So you can't get more, and we could try to find you an alternative if you want to duplicate this. But again, if you're trying to duplicate exactly what Liz is doing, then there's already a chance that who knows if it's going to work.
Okay, so I didn't swatch.
You see what happened was, yes,
I did not swatch because why? And and then, so I started it Friday night and I'm like, okay, what size am I going to make? And I'm going to make the smallest size. Well, then I went and looked at how many repeats you get of thistles.
That's right.
And you don't get as many repeats on the smallest size. And I wanted more thistles.
You want more thistles.
I want more thistles. So I, without swatching, decided to make the third size in the pattern.
Wasn't that still not enough thistles?
The third size is the medium amount of thistles, and then you've got to go up to the biggest size to get the most thistles. Mm-hmm. But it's more than the smallest size. So,
and you're already working on the theory that if I make the smallest size, it might fit me because I'm using bigger yarn. Let's just remind everybody.
Yeah. So the smallest size on fingering weight yarn on size 4 needles, if your gauge works out, is supposed to be 36 inches around. And they're wanting you to plan 4 inches of positive ease. I'm doing the third size, which should be 44 inches around with the, which would still be too small for me.
So I have a question for you because I have my calculator out.
Yeah.
Do you know what your gauge is?
I can tell you. Hold on.
Yes. If you can give me your gauge and since you've done the sleeve separation, what it's telling you.
I haven't. I'm not there yet.
Well, okay. Well, but the pattern should still be telling you for that size how many stitches. I might be able to give you a ballpark figure of how big it might end up being.
Getting 7 stitches for 2 inches.
Okay.
And the gauge on this.
What's the torso? What's the number of stitches on your torso? This is an example of magic math, people. Tell me how many stitches when you separate your sleeves, how many stitches does the pattern say you should have for your torso?
I should have 242.
I'm dividing that by 3.5 because that is your number of stitches per inch. I hope I did that wrong.
It's going to be huge, isn't it?
Well, that gave me like 69 stitches. I'm 69 inches. Sorry, that's way too big. Because what you're knitting doesn't look like that. Are you thinking it might be like that?
I'm thinking it's going to be like that. It's going to have 10 inches of positive ease because, and I still have a couple more rows to go.
I think that's more than 10 inches of positive ease for you. You're going to have a flowy dressy thing.
But like, this is on a 40-inch needle and it is
jammed
at
on.
least half jammed on one side and half stretched out on the other.
Ladies and gentlemen,
it's huge.
People out
It's-
there, this is going to be an example of when you don't test your gauge and just wing it, the craziness that can happen.
I'm okay with just huge,
Okay,
but
off
it's-
camera, we should talk about what your bust size or is and how much this might be bigger. So, because that's not a polite question to ask. So
if I was doing this on the needles and everything, I would probably do the largest size.
And what's the bust size for that?
Well, the finished measurements and I would want more than 4 inches of positive ease. It would be 56 inches.
Okay, this is still way over that. By the magic math. The magic math may or may not be right.
Yeah.
You also can do some things once you separate the sleeves. If you try it on and it's absolutely massive, you could do some decreases under the armpits really quickly. So it's only bulky. It might be a little floofy right here though. I don't know. We'll have to play around.
I'm probably, I don't know. Okay, I am in, this is my third ball of the black. And you just started it, but like the yoke is, hold on, it's
you sure you don't want it to just be a big floofy poncho?
Oh, it's gonna be a big floofy poncho. Like I am over 8 inches. I'm about 9 inches of yoke, and I still have 2 more rows of black and then 3 rows of color work left before the yoke is done. And
I seriously wonder if you might just want to make this into a big roughly poncho.
I could,
but that's
I'm getting about 4 rows per inch, so it's gonna be
well, but that
large.
That's a swan show, or like a poncho with sleeves or something.
I'm
like
thinking
that,
about
right?
not making the sleeves as long because it's going to be large.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that because
options.
I like big things, and it can be an outer layer. Like I can put a sweater underneath this sweater if I have to stay warm, which is fantastic. But I knew going in, it was either going to just fit me or it was going to be large.
Well, and that's the thing is, if you do this, that's an option, like for everybody out there, if something like this happens to you, and it's an option, but it's all of what you want to do, not what someone tells you to do. If you do the sleeve separation and it's just so massive, you could always back it out to the sleeve separation and turn it into a like frilly poncho. Or by frilly, I mean it's gonna have, all the way around. Not that it's gonna be bows and lace and whatever, but it's still pretty. You want to hold it up again? People can see the cute little thistles on it.
It is absolutely, like, I am so much in love with it.
That's gorgeous.
But it is massive. Mm-hmm. And I have tons of thistles, so I'm quite happy. But yes, it's large.
So if someone else sees it's like, ooh, cool, I highly recommend doing it in either the yarn it's written for or like the thickness it's written for, if you don't want to run into the same issues, or something in between what Liz picked and what it's written for,
Yeah, and like I didn't do a gauge swatch. I didn't do anything. I just said I'm using these needles with this yarn and I'm going for it.
And that's why when she asked me, I was like, I don't want to make promises I can't keep. So I'm going to say maybe. Like,
unless if I had done a gauge swatch, we could have, there is the magic math to go, okay, how many inches? And, I probably should have gone with the smallest size on the pattern, which was my plan, but I was blinded by thistles.
You wanted the thistles, yes, okay.
I wanted the thistles. So, but I'm okay with like hugely oversized things. So, and I'm not small to begin with. So like, I'm fine with that.
So we'll see. But this is also another example of like, sometimes you experiment and it doesn't always go to plan. And it depends on if you can adapt to that. Like not everything we make is going to come out perfectly the way we want it to come out, even after you've been knitting for a really long time or crocheting for a really long time. And that's okay.
I've done enough yokes or enough top-down sweaters that I basically understand, like, hey, okay, if I get to the sleeve separation and it's still too short, I know how to increase.
Yeah.
Which I did a couple of
keep
extra
going, or
rows of
whatever.
increases for my other sweater.
Mhm.
But like, if it comes out super huge, there's not much to, you know. I will say, I
You
found
cannot
another
block a sweater smaller. Yes. What?
I found another thistle sweater pattern. Well, okay, not a pattern. I found another thistle sweater on Pinterest. Somebody took this pattern that was written for socks, took just the repeat and made their own yoke pattern out of it.
Oh, yeah.
And made a black and white thistle sweater. And the thistles are like even more spectacular than the thistles on here.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to her project notes on Ravelry, and it was like, okay, so my world is kind of a hot mess, but that's me and I'm okay with that. But I don't have the chart that I used to make the sweater. So this is what I did. Have fun. And I was like, I'm gonna have to do that. So sometime between now and next winter, I'm going to play around with making my own chart for a sweater. I cannot guarantee it will never be published, but it's got thistles, so you know. It'll probably be massively oversized. So anybody that wants to make a sweater,
But you
might
have
want to use my
experience
chart.
with that now, so oh man. Okay.
So thistles. She was lured by the thistles. Yes.
All right. So
So what have you been working on?
all right, this morning for morning meditation, I pulled out my I was working on this over the weekend. So we had a really wonderful virtual sit and stitch, but no one can go back and watch it on Facebook because we had Zoom bombers for the first time in like a year and a half. And they all came in at once. Like one person came in and then the rest came in, and I should have known better than to let them all in. But as soon as I said, hey, can you turn your cameras on so we can say hi? Or otherwise we'll have to ask you to leave. And I said it very nicely. The F-bombs and what they were going to do to me started coming out. And in my haste to try to like boot them from the thing, and then not, it took longer than I wanted it. It probably took like a minute or two. It felt like 15 minutes. But so we haven't put the Facebook video out because of those 2 minutes, But
it was bad.
Jan was entertained, so they were just not nice. And then Zoom has, I want to say Facebook, Zoom has a like, you can remove someone, but then they're like, really? Are you sure you want to? Can you tell us why? And it's like, I just want them out. They're saying nasty things, and I would mute them and they would unmute themselves. And like, my sister raised a really good point when I was talking to her about it. She's like, is there a function on Zoom where you can just mute everybody and they can't unmute them, like as you have control of the meeting? So I have to look into that of, can I just mute everybody and kick them off? And they were just being rude and obviously we're bored, and that's just a shame. So, but I was working on this during our sit and stitch. This is my shimmering pearl. And I got through the garter section. Now I'm on my morning meditation was placing the markers for this last lace section. And I only did the first row because it's actually an intricate row. So it was fun to put on camera, but I don't have much to show for it. But essentially at this point, there's a mini version of the bigger lace sections. And she says, do it until you run out of yarn. Just leave yourself enough to bind off. So do this for, it's only 8 rows of lace, but she's like, repeat it until you're out of yarn. And she said, I needed about 4 grams to bind off. This is my sad deflated skein of Perth. And I have a decent amount of this left, although I'm over 300 stitches now, so it's gonna get eaten up really quickly. But of course I'm stuck at here and my scales are at the shop. You'd think.
I only know of one scale at the shop. I thought you took one home a while ago.
No, there's 2 scales somewhere at the shop. They're just buried. I took one home, but I'm pretty sure I brought it back.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Well, and one of us might be wrong. So I could have a scale here, but I don't know where the heck it is. So yeah, I will check my old computer bag to see if there's one in there, but I really don't think I think I brought it back. Anyway, I'm gonna have to play yarn chicken and guess when I have enough of this to bind off. I'm gonna need probably about 4 or 5 grams to bind off. So I may do that while I'm stuck here at home, depending on how long we are stuck here at home, or I may wait until I can measure it. But this is looking really pretty and I can't wait to block it. But I'm going to also wait to block it until there's time to film a how to block a shawl video for my tips and tricks channel. That's my plan, because this is the closest one to being done. So
I like how the Lake Gardner looks like pearl and the mother of pearl, the inside of the clamshell. And I mean, it just
really pretty.
Yeah.
It's our neutral, and there's like lights and darks of grays, and there's a little bit of super pale pink in here. It's almost a purpley pink, and then there's a really, really pale green, but they're very soft colors. It's been very pretty because a lot of our Perth colors are dark and broody. Let's see, I have this empty hole of yarn for this has been my goal for what I'm going to film later today. This is my Ready Set Raglan. I'm trying to find, I think this is a sleeve over here. I think that's the back. Bear with me, all people. No, wait, that's a sleeve. Okay. I am almost to the sleeve separation on my Elowen. Let me see if I can back up and get up a little bit. This is my Elowen pullover from, I've been furiously knitting the ribbing on this. And about 2 rows away maybe from the sleeve separation. So I can do a sleeve separation video on this guy. And I have it on a 47-inch cord right now, which should work for the torso, because I think the torso is supposed to be about 47 inches once I separate the sleeves. And I am playing yarn chicken with this. I have another skein that I wound and lost and have found again of this color of the Friday Harbor.
Sweet.
But at this, like the sleeve separation itself is supposed to happen if you're doing the 2-color version that I am with your other color.
Oh.
So I'd really love, like, this is all I have left, but wouldn't it be nice if I could get to the next 2 rows and start up with this and not have to, I mean, again, the other skein, it's already wound. It's sitting right over there. So I have the yarn at home to do that. And it's already yarn I can't sell because I've wound it. But wouldn't it be nice if I didn't, if I could play yarn chicken and 2 skeins of yarn get me through the top of this. Yeah. And then I'm doing this color. That would be kind of awesome. So that's my plan for later today. And I'm almost there. I was watching Men in Kilts, like I binge watched it yesterday. It's really fun. By the way, if you like Outlander, it's 2 of the guys from Outlander as their actual people, like not as Outlander characters, but as they're both Scottish and they're going around Scotland, and it's really awesome.
A lot of the girls on Knit Night have been talking about it. Like, it's hilarious. And I was like, Bernie, I think we're gonna watch this. Like, there's nothing else.
There's only 8 episodes. They're short episodes, and I got like the Stars 6-day trial to watch it. And
there is a 2nd season coming out next year. I'm
sure there is, because of course they're not gonna, like, they wrap it up with like, this was great. There's no one,
Yeah.
you know, even though they don't like each other at times during it, like there's, or it's more one guy.
It is
Probably about the other.
absolutely hilarious.
It's like,
So-
it's encapsulated as we just roamed around Scotland. Wasn't that fun? But I can totally see there being a second season. You learn about Scottish history and stuff, and they try cool things, and it's really neat. So that got me through this. I'm really excited to be separating the sleeves, because this has been on time out for long enough that the yarn that I'm knitting with, you can tell, has probably been in the skein for too long. Like, it's still fine, but it doesn't look as springy and nice as it did when it was in the twist. So, because it's been like, public service announcement to everybody, if possible, try not to wind your skeins until you're going to use them, because that can stretch and it can put a little bit of wear and tear on your yarn. It's not like it will never survive. I have things that have been in timeout for forever and wound in skeins, and I'm still going to knit them and use them and wear them. But it will just behave better and be nicer and prettier if you use it right away. So keep it in the twist until you need to use it, if possible. So that's another project that I'm working on. I think this happened since we last filmed. I wound my second skein. I was just to the end of a first skein on my Rosa Canina. So I wound up my second skein. And I had at it, I was in the ribbing section between the cables. Okay, that's the outside. So I was where this fiery red is, red and orange and whatever, more orange and yellow. And I started with the outside of my skein because it was fiery orange and yellow. And the inside was this. I was like, okay, I got to go from the outside to have it match. And it was this fiery orange and yellow for like half a row, and then instantly changed. So it's a little bit of a abrupt of a color change, but with this yarn, it all works.
But
it's all fine.
it actually looks like it flows. Like,
Okay, good.
from here, I can't see where you changed color.
Because I also started in the middle of a row. Like, here's the two. See, there's slightly different twists on, but there's, you know, they're really close.
Yeah, but like from here,
maximize
not
the yarn.
knowing that, I can't tell where you changed color. Like it, because of the way the yarn flows in and out of color.
Well, this is where the new skein started, and I didn't have my pattern in front of me. Actually, I did. I was telling people this on the sit and stitch. I had my pattern in front of me, but the pattern at this point is like, okay, continue repeating the cables, this cable 20 row section, which will add 10 stitches. And then between them, you need to do enough ribbing here to add 14 stitches. And by the time I pick this back up, I'm like, I don't know what my stitch count is or what it should be. So I eyeballed where these cables started and how many more cables between sections and how many of these ridges. And then I just set to work doing my ribbing ridges. And I'm like, okay, I have to get to this point of a ribbing ridge and this many of them to start my next section. And I started catching up on my Marvel universe watching and just went to town on it this weekend. I overshot by like a whole one of these ribs, which is 4 to 8 stitches, 4 to 6 stitches, which is double that in many number of rows. So to make this work with the right stitch count, I had to rip out. I'm still knitting up what I ripped out. But I've hit the next cable section, this 20 rows of cables and one more ribbing section. And I'm at her stitch count where she just cabled for like most of the rest of the shawl. So I'm really excited to see what the cable, I love how that shows up on camera.
Oh,
the cables really pop on a camera, where in front of me, because of the color change, it's a little muddy, but they really pop on cameras, which is really cool. So I'm excited to get to the part on my Rosa Canina where I'm just cabling and cabling and cabling, and they're twisting and moving and twisting and moving. And so I'm almost there. I probably still have about 30 rows to go before I can do that.
Sweet.
So there's that. I have this huge pile on the floor of everything that was up on the table during sit and stitch. I don't know if I showed off what I did with my new Perth last week.
No, because I think you started it Friday night with.
So let me show that
like,
up too.
Yeah.
So some things have gotten no attention and some things have gotten a little bit. So we got this new color of Perth in, and I'm thinking if I have time, I am, because it's not up online yet. This is one of my tasks on Saturday was going to be to photograph this for the online shop. And then we saw some flakes of snow outside, and we said, we're going home. So I didn't. And I'd love for people to take advantage of the sale and be able to buy this. So I may have to photograph it here at home. So the picture won't be the same or as pretty as the ones on, it won't match the ones online, but I could try to get this up online for people to buy during the snow sale, since we can't get in. But we got this color of Perth in, it's Fraser Island, Fraser, not the full blown Scottish Fraser spelling, Fraser Island. And it is like grays and muted teals. Like
it is, yeah.
It's really, really pretty. And I don't know why I had this compulsion. I was like, I really want to combine that with one of the bright colors. I've been wanting to combine a neutral, which I consider this one to be, even though it's dark. Or like not super dark, not super light. Like this one, Lake Gardner, is definitely a neutral, but I'm already making something out of it. This is a dark and broody neutral, not super dark. It's mid-range. And I was like, I think what's going to show it off the best is a Zick Zackscarf, which is just a chevron scarf where they're really thin lines. I'm already making a Zick Zackscarf though. I'm making it out of thicker yarn than the pattern calls for with fewer of the chevrons. And I'm like, I just had to start another one. Like, I think part of it is we don't have very many scarves in the shop. We have a lot of
really does.
Yeah, we have a lot of I mean, because scarves, I mean, they're not necessarily as interesting, but then again, they're pretty functional. It's just sometimes you lose the will to knit on them because they're straight.
Yeah.
But I decided to start another zigzag because it's actually a fairly simple pattern, even though with the counting, sometimes I can't do them on knit night because it's too much thinking.
Yeah.
I'm combining it with Great Barrier Reef, which is going to have its own dark and broody in there. There might be some rows where they mingle a little bit, but that's okay. This is also one of our brighter colors. It's not straight rainbow. It's almost like fiery rainbow.
Yeah.
It's anything that's purple in it is kind of a dark and broody, more dark and broody, but everything else is really hot. It's like hot pink and bright orange and a little bit of yellow and stuff in there. So I started a zigzag with these, and I haven't gotten very far because of course I was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And then I started knitting other things, but this is what it looks like so far. Like neither one of them is in like a bright poppy color.
I like it. It's
interesting.
You got your color change. It's muted. It kind of actually mutes out some of the hot. Like,
well, and the hot, like it's only just starting to get to the fiery orange. Yeah. And I definitely haven't hit the hot pink yet. And so I'm going to have to keep going. But this, like, if anyone wants a, like this is fingering weight and it's on a US 2.5, which I think is a little challenging for some people, but it doesn't exist in Liz's world. I know, but every single row is exactly the same. But you do 2 rows with one color and then 2 rows of the next, and you just pick up the new color when you come back over to it. And the wrong side rows is the same as the right side. It's like, it's not like you have to keep track of which side you're on. So this is the clean right side. And this is the wrong side. Like the colors, like the wrong side, it's just muddy, which is fine. But you don't have to, when you start a row, you don't have to say, which row am I on for the instructions? It's the same exact instructions. It's just, you do have to pay attention to every time you come over where the other color's hanging, pick up the other color. But the idea is that they're both going to shift colors. Again, that's the muddy side. Here's the clean side. They're both going to shift colors as they go. So it's going to look like a million colors are in this scarf, which is kind of cool. So, and I'm making this one with DK weight yarn which is thicker, on a bigger needle with, I think I cut out 1 or 2 repeats. So it might only be this many chevrons instead of like this many. But I'm excited by this. even though it's not a super fancy pattern. I'm really excited by this. I like to say complicated yarn, color changing, simple pattern, and simple yarn, complicated pattern. One will show the other off. If you want to show off, like this guy is an anomaly for me because I've got complicated yarn and somewhat complicated pattern. But if you want to show off cables or lace, more often than not, a single color or a tonal will do that really well. And if you want to do something super basic, a yarn, you can show off the beauty of a yarn by doing something really basic with it. If it's something that like color changes or it has fun qualities to it. So, that's my general guideline for picking patterns. It doesn't mean that I always stick to them, but
Well, and I was just thinking crochet, it really doesn't matter because like if you were when you use Perth in a complicated lace crochet pattern.
Oh yeah, that all bets are off of that. That's cool.
It completely changed. Like you wouldn't necessarily use Perth for a complicated pattern, especially like a scarf, well, like cables or whatever. It's going to change colors at different rates than, if you crochet with it.
Yeah.
So
you have more options there. Part of my mountain of yarn just slid. I thought the cat had come in, was climbing on it, but no, it was my Echo Point wanting me to, it's like it has a soul and wanted me to say, to not forget about showing it off. I'm just starting the stripey section of section 3. So this green, the lighter sea glass, has just edged in just a little. Like, ooh, I need to do a few more rows on it. I'm trying to get one section done a week, basically. This is the color I have just added. And you can just see it there. But I'm starting the solid and broken sides have flipped back and forth again. So from what they were before. So it's looking really fun. We have knitters who have already finished theirs, and I'll try to put some pictures at the end here to show off the Echo Point. We had someone who just bought an Echo Point kit over the weekend to start theirs, and shout out to them. If you purchased a kit this weekend and you watch this show, we'll get it to you as soon as we can. I don't know.
I was going to work on my Echo Point last night.
Yeah.
And then kind of got caught up in color work. So I will get a couple of rows done on it today. What?
That's not a thing.
Nope. Not.
There are so many other things I wanted to work on, and like, oh, let me show. Since we're at home and not everything, most things are at home. Wait, where's is this on no, okay. Last week before, I don't know. I finally picked up my stone catcher again. And it may not look like much has changed since the last time it was on, but hopefully it was on so long ago you don't remember. You can always go back and look at the videos. This side I finished, right? A long time ago. And the side's been hanging out on the needles, but I am done. I'm officially done with the, which color is this?
Orange.
The peach, the
peach Bellini.
Thank you. I'm like, we both blanked on the name. The peach Bellini lace section. See, it's gonna mirror this side, right? The peach Bellini section over there. I have finished it over here. I am at the point where I can start the slip stitch diamondy thing. So I have made progress on this, and it's gonna be so big when it's blocked and pretty. Look at that. Woo!
Oh yeah.
Wait, now I just realized I have to remember everything I've been showing off to y'all so I can put it in the description. This is gonna be fun. This is when it's a good thing we're stuck at home, because it gives me time to get all this other stuff done. That if we were doing it while the shop was open, it wouldn't get done till I went home again. Anyway, so I made progress on that. There's certain things I have not touched, like my polyrhythm with all the checkers in it. I don't think that has progressed since we last filmed, so I'm not even going to show it today. If you wanted to see it, write it in the comments and I'll show it next time. I also had hopes and dreams of, if we got stuck at the house, especially without power, but we have power, I was going to work on that blanket for my cousin's wedding. that's already happened that I had hopes and dreams to make like 2 years ago. We shall see. I have a whole pile of things in front of me that are like, ha!
I still have Adam's wedding blanket, and they've been married, I think, 2 years in February 14th, 15th, somewhere.
That's supposed to make me feel better, right?
I told Adam, I talked to him over Christmas, and I was like, yeah, I haven't worked on that in a while. And he goes, let me guess, it's in your sewing room. And I was like, yes.
Well, yeah.
I know where it is.
Where else would it be?
I
know where my cousin's wedding blanket is. Absolutely. Have I touched it? No.
Nope.
Yeah. So we have a lot of things we can work on today, or this whole week, until we can get back in the shop and never knit again, because we'll have so many orders to fill, which, again, is a good problem to have. So it's okay.
Problem to have.
So I think we should wrap up. I mean, it's not like we have to open the shop. We could go on all day, but I need to post about virtual sit and stitch tonight. I need to film tips and tricks at some point. Yeah, there's all kinds of things. I think I need to email a couple of people who should already know not to come get their orders today, but I'm going to contact some people, since the power's on, I get to do all this computer work that takes twice as long at the shop. So, and then maybe I'll sit and knit for a little bit. Maybe. That'd be fun. What?
I've done about an inch on the torso of this sweater.
Sweet. And that's the one that we are pretty sure is going to fit, right?
Yeah, this one's going to fit.
Okay, good.
I mean, the other one's going to fit. It's just going to fit big.
It's going to be floofy.
It's going to be floofy.
It's going to be floofy. So, okay, let's end with, we're having a 20% off sale. Oh, yes. Okay. Sorry. Getting excited. We're having a 20% off sale in the online shop, as long as we're stuck at home, basically. Izzy Snow, IZZYSNOW, saves you 20% in the online shop until we can get back to the shop, and then we will turn that sale off. The reason I just got all excited is we're actually getting really close to being able to offer just the YouTube people a sale, right? So Liz, where's our subscriber count at?
We were at 692? 693.
You sent me 692 this morning, and then I saw 693. And then, of course, there's always a disclaimer that numbers can waver and we could drop down.
Well, I'm not surprised that YouTube is getting all excited for their 700 sale, because when we had our sales in April, we had so many sales going in April when we hit 600 that it's like,
it got lost. Yeah. And all the other sales. Well, and right now this could get lost in all the sales that we're having right now. But when we hit 700 subscribers and maintain it, like we have to stay above 700 for like, if we need to substantially not have the danger of dropping below 700.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it. We will have a slightly larger sale than last time, just a little bit. So if you want more than 20% off, and you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel to help yourself and everybody else out, because when we hit 700, we will celebrate and have only for YouTube, only if you watch YouTube and hear us say the magic words, sale. So yes, which is very exciting. So we're so close. Ooh, and then we get to set another benchmark for 800 subscribers. Anyway, okay, so so there will be sit and stitch tonight from 7 to 9 p.m. on Zoom, because this is evidence that we can Zoom. And to get in, you use the shop phone number, which is
828-877-3550.
Yay! And tomorrow is our VSC edition, but it may just be another side-by-side show, and we may just keep doing the same things that we had last week on sale. Like, it may not be a formal VSC edition because we're not at the shop to look at products and go, ooh, let's put these on sale. So we'll see. You should watch tomorrow just to see what happens, because it's a big unknown. It's a big question mark even for us. And then Thursday, I mean, we might be back at the shop tomorrow. Who knows? We might be filming something from the shop, and I just personally don't see that happening right now. Who knows? Thursday is the Dear Becky and Lizzie edition. If you sent us a card, we won't be getting it. But if you have questions for, oh, we already have one email, don't we?
I have 2 emails actually.
We have plenty of things to talk about, even if we're doing a side-by-side show on Thursday. But we just got to see what the future holds and how much the sun melts and doesn't refreeze and, you know, stuff like that. So,
but if you would like us to talk about a question, if we have time this Thursday, we'll add it. If not, it'll wait until next week. Email liz@sundragonartandfiber.com.
Yep. Okay. Oh, I think I just heard someone else go by. There's been like 5 cars that have gone by in the past 3 days. More and more people are venturing out, and I'm just like, really? Because I might put a picture at the end of this of what the road that I have to try to get out on looks like. And there's a car that, like, in the picture, it's someone who has one of those driveways that's like steep and straight down. So they parked at the top, which there's not space for that to park at the top and still have cars, let alone snowplows go by, technically.
Yeah.
And I don't think the snowplows that go by are super huge in honesty. I think they're like probably like pickup trucks with plows on the front. So
yeah.
And they tried to help me with my driveway last night. It was so cute. Like, I had made a little niche and they tried to widen the side that I need to get out on. And that was cute of them. There's still snow there, but that was nice. There's not as high of snow there now, you know, they tried. I appreciate it. All right. So on that note, everybody stay safe. If you are in any type of snowy condition like us, please stay home, and unless it's an emergency, and shop from the comfort of your home in our online shop. I know it's not the same as seeing the yarn, but we don't want to put anyone at risk. So, you know, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. We'll, as long as we have power, we will keep our filming schedule. We might just have to change what we talk about, but we will keep our filming schedule going for y'all. So
one way or another.
Us too. So yeah, one way or another, right? Yeah. Okay. All right, everyone. Bye. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.